So Amazon got me for $600. I would even say as far as they stole my $600. And it's pretty crazy. So in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly what happened, what would I've done different, and some tips and tricks that you guys probably consider if you have to use Amazon. So let's get started and talking about it. So about a month ago, I had did a build. It was my last build for 2021. Bought a Ryzen 9 5950X, Asus motherboard. I think it was the Hero, and memory, and a whole bunch of other stuff. After that, one of my friends, who I've dealt with them for years, and I've built many computers for them, he reached out to me and says, hey, I want the same computer you have. I'm ready to go, and I've built a lot of good computers for him. So I was like, all right, that's cool. He goes, just order me what you did in your last build, and I'll pay you and all that good stuff. I was like, cool. So typically, when I have a customer like that I've dealt with for years and I trust, I'll order the parts ahead of time. If it's a new customer, I tell them, hey, go ahead and order the parts. I'll give you the list to Newegg, Amazon, or whatever. You buy it and bring it. But in this case, I ordered it for him, which I'm glad I did. So I did that. I ordered the parts. The parts come in. And then he decides later on, he's like, hey, something came up, which it was. It's an unfortunate situation. He couldn't afford to go ahead with the build. I said, no worries. I'll take back the parts. And, you know, no big deal on that. So that's where we were on that one. And this was about December. So now the order came in, and one thing about it, and I should have taken pictures, and we'll talk about that in a second, but when the order came in, I noticed that the box looked like it had been tampered with, and it looked like somebody had used it or maybe opened it up for whatever reason. But I mean, I didn't pay no mind to it, because if you guys order from Amazon, you guys probably know already that typically their shipping and handling is not the greatest. But I mean, that's another story. So no big deal. Opened everything up, checked it, packaged it back up, and decided to send it back. So I decided to use the whole Amazon thing where you can return it and just drop it off the boxes that it is. I had a bunch of items I had to return, so I dropped it off. And when I dropped it off, they just take the item as is, they put it to the side. Of course, they had the retail packaging box. I dropped it off, and they give me a shipping number. So, all right, cool. I'm done. No worries. Amazon's usually pretty good about returning your stuff in a reasonable time. So then 2 weeks go by, and I realized I haven't heard anything from Amazon, which is kind of weird, and I thought it was a little suspicious in nature. So I contact Amazon. Hey, what's going on with it? They look up my order number. They look up my information. They said, we haven't received your product yet. So it's been 2 weeks. They said, well, give me the tracking number. So I give them the tracking number that was given to me, and they said, well, that number is not on file. I said, great. They said, give us another week, and if not, we'll look into it, and we should be able to issue your refund. I said, okay, sounds good. So I was somewhat happy with that, and I left it alone. Well, another week goes by. I call Amazon. I say, hey, what's going on with it? They said, we're not sure. So I provide them the tracking number that they gave me, and the tracking numbers seem not to be legit. I'm like, that's the one the store gave me. They said, well, that's not the one we have on file. So they start searching their whole magical, mystical database and everything. And as they start searching through it, they realize, oh, well, we have a different tracking number. Well, how do you have a different tracking number from the one that I was given? They didn't have an explanation for it. So I provided them the tracking number, a copy of the receipt, which always keep a copy of your shipping receipts. And by doing that, they were able to at least confirm that something happened in shipping. They couldn't explain it, but at least they were aware of that. So I said, okay. They said, call us back in 2 days because you'll be within this time frame that they have, and we should be able to process your return. I said, okay, fine. Well, now it's been 3 weeks and 2 days later, and I called them. Of course, I get a different associate, which is fine, I guess. And they don't know what's going on. They have to look through their system, yada, yada. I'm left on the phone literally waiting for about 20 minutes. I literally thought I got hung up on. An associate reaches out to me and says, hey, we got an update of everything. I said, okay. They said the CPU and the few other items will issue the return. I don't know why it took so long. I said, okay. They says the motherboard and the memory, we're not going to be able to issue that return. I said, why are you not able to issue that return? It says it seems that the items received were the items that you not ordered. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, apparently the items that we got returned to us is not the same items that you ordered, and they gave me the name of the items. Something is supposed to be G-Skill memory, and they wound up with Mushkin memory. It was supposed to be, I believe, it was the Asus X570 motherboard, and they wound up with a Gigabyte motherboard. Right there alone, I can tell you right now, guys, I've never ordered a Gigabyte motherboard in my life. I've never had one. I've never cared for Gigabyte. Just a matter of preference, you know. I've never used Gigabyte, so I'm like, that is crazy. I gave you exactly what you sent me. I confirmed that I gave you the items. I dropped them off. The tracking number is way off. This makes no sense. And they start going back and forth. So then, you know, I asked to speak to a supervisor. I said, well, I want to speak to a supervisor concerning this. And of course, they tell me there's no supervisor available. I said, well, that's unacceptable. I says, what are we going to do? They said, well, there's nothing we can do. I said, so what happens to my money? And they keep responding, give us our item back, and we'll give you your money back. I was like, how am I supposed to give it to you back when I gave it to you? I don't have it. Then, of course, they say, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. Give us our item back, and we'll give you your money back. We go back and forth for this. And then finally, the employee hangs up on me, which I'm like livid. I'm livid because they hung up on me, and I got no resolution. So now I'm pretty livid. They just hung up on me. They told me pretty much there was nothing they're going to do for me. So I've been professional. I haven't cussed or fussed or anything. And I understand that these employees are just doing their job. And you can't be mad at somebody who's just doing their job, whatever. So I understand a little bit. I've been in customer service and I know how customers can be. So I'm not too mad. So I call back up Amazon. I wait for 20 minutes this time. I get in touch with somebody. I said, this is what's going on. You guys are saying that I didn't return the product. I did. I've given you a shipping number with a discrepancy that you guys acknowledged that was weird and not right. So what can we do about it? And the guy tells me, well, I'll look into it. I said, better yet, let me get a supervisor because I didn't appreciate getting hung up on. So he's like, okay, I'll get you a supervisor. He hangs up on me. So now, instead of being a 10 on the angry scale, I'm like at 100. He hangs up on me. So what do? I call back again. This time somebody picks up and I said, I want a supervisor immediately. They said, can you tell us what this is about? And I says, I want a supervisor. I demand to speak to a supervisor about an order I'm having discrepancy. Well, they say, I need more information. I says, give me a supervisor. I have that right. So they forward me to a supervisor. After making me wait another 15 minutes, I talk to the supervisor. I explain what's going on. They tell me that customer service can't handle this, that it has to be Amazon Fulfillment, OFM as they called it. I said, well, then get me a supervisor at OFM. Well, then they tell me that, well, there's no direct number or there's no one at OFM that you can contact. They just work by email only. I'm like, what kind of mess is that? Whatever. I don't work at Amazon. I don't know how their stuff works. So I'm like, okay, fine. So they give me the email. I type a nice email, very professional, pretty much stating that, hey, this is what's going on. I've been a victim over here. My stuff is missing. You guys are holding my money. What can we do to make this right? They respond, pretty much, and I'm summarizing, give us our stuff back, we'll give you your money. How the flip am I supposed to give you your stuff back when I did? I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it. That's not on me. That's on you guys. Lovely. So I write an email explaining the story, explaining that's everything that's going on, and, you know, being very nice and polite, and I wait. And I wait. 3 more days go by. I haven't heard nothing from them. So now I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. So I decided to do the right thing, and I contacted the local police department, and I filed a police report. I'm saying, hey, this is what's going on. My stuff was stolen, blah, blah, blah. I get a police report, and the police report pretty much confirms that this is what happens. I talk to the investigator, and the investigator informs me that, yeah, there's been some package thefts going on, and you were a victim of it. I said, okay, cool. So now I have a copy of a police report. So I'm thinking I'm good. I have a copy of a police report. I have the discrepancy of the tracking number. I think I'm good and golden, right? I wish. I call Amazon. All right, this is what we got. I want to speak to somebody at OFM. Magically, they forward me to somebody at OFM. And I tell them exactly what's going on. I says, I have a police report showing that I was a victim of theft and that there was a problem in shipping or whatever, this, that, and the other. I even contacted the postal inspector, and they said there was an issue that was going on, and, you know, you're not the only customer. So here's the copy of the police report. Here's the copy of the shipping statement. Here's a copy of everything. pretty much trying to prove to them that I did not steal their stuff, I don't have their stuff, and I'm just a victim that wants their money back. How does Amazon respond? Give us our stuff back, we'll give you your money back. No, I don't have it. I don't have your stuff. So now, like, I'm livid. So then I asked to speak to another supervisor. I get to another supervisor, and I tell them, this is what I have. They said, all right, give us a copy of the police report, give us everything you have, and we should be able to resolve this. I'm like, okay, cool. 2 days go by, nothing. I call Amazon again. This time I get through to account specialist, because apparently now account specialist has to handle this. Account specialist, I talk to her, and she tells me, well, the police report is not good enough. There's nothing we can do with that. Give us our money, give us our stuff back, and we'll give you our items back. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, sir, and they keep saying the same thing. Give us our stuff back, we'll give you your money back. Every email that I have from them, everything that was said, they kept saying that over and over and over. And I'm like, I mean, am I talking to a human? Am I talking to a robot? Is that what you're programmed to say? So then I'm like, okay, I am out $600. But here's the real kicker. So apparently the CPU, which is the high dollar item, because that CPU was like $700, that was fine. That wasn't stolen. They gave me my money back. There was another high dollar item, and they gave me my money back for that. But yet the motherboard and the memory, I mean, I'm going to keep the low dollar item and not return that. Yeah, it's ridiculous and ludicrous in my opinion. But anyways, so I'm like, all right, they keep saying that they have these items, and they have my items that I allegedly gave them the wrong items. So, all right, fine. So I call Amazon. I said, listen, I've been dealing with this back and forth. I've gotten nowhere. Is obviously you guys are poor and need to drive a fancy Lexus and need to have, Corinthian leather instead of standard leather. I get it. You guys have fat wallets. Businesses need their money. Fine. Well, since you allegedly are stating that I need to give give you your product back, then fine, give me the product back. I tell them, I says, send it back to me. Send it back to me. They're like, no, we can't do that. Why can't you do that? The items that you have are technically mine because I paid for it. Oh, we can't send it back. So not only do you have these alleged items that I swapped out, but you also have my $600. Well, sir, there's nothing that we can do for you. There's nothing that you can do for me. So you guys get to keep my money. I get nothing. And this is the great customer service that I receive from you guys. Long story short, they end up hanging up on me. Thanks. So now, what's a guy to do? I've provided a police report. I've provided a statement from the U.S. Postal Service. I've done everything. I've even shown inconsistencies on their part. And they won't do nothing. They just hang up, and I've had several emails I've typed and I've complained, and nothing gets done. So I decided to get on social media and kind of blast them on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, contact us, we'll be willing to help you. Okay, cool. Now I'm getting somewhere because maybe they don't like bad publicity. Yeah, spoiler alert, they still don't care. So I get in contact directly with one of their account specialists, manager, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I get in contact with them. We start talking. We have a conversation. And long story short, what do they tell me? Well, give us back our items. We'll give you your money back. What the freaking heck? I don't have your items. I am a victim. I have police reports. I've been able to exonerate myself out of this. I've done everything I can. There's nothing I can do. So how can I get my money back? Or better yet, how can I get this product back that you allegedly say that I swapped out? At least send it back to me. Number one, it might be a good retro build. I can make some channel flip. Give me something here, They says, no, we don't do that. So you keep my items, you keep my money, you guys hang up on me, and this is the poor customer service. What happens? Sir, there's nothing I can do for you. I have to hang up now. They hang up on me. I've been hung up by Amazon multiple times. So now, yeah, I'm pretty much SOL on it. So what could I have done different? And my tips and advice to help you guys in case you run into this. So number one, what could I have done different? When I did the return on Amazon, I did notate that the box appeared to be tampered and possibly messed with. So I did that right, and that's the way you should always do it. Number two, I should have taken pictures. And here's why. You can't dispute a picture, especially ones that are timestamped. Well, maybe you could. Somebody could say they photoshopped it, but I should have taken a picture of the poor quality that I received of their item to show that the box was damaged and to show that the CPU box, because that was the one I was real concerned about, looked like it had been opened and tampered. I mean, it was in piss poor quality. I should have taken a picture of that. That's number 2. Number 3, never, guys, if you're going to return something from Amazon, never, ever, ever bring it to the local UPS store without boxing it yourself. If you box it yourself and you take a picture of it, you can verify that you're sending them the correct items. My theory is that somebody swapped my stuff out at the local UPS store. I can't prove it, but then again, why would my tracking numbers be so much different from what Amazon has? Never do it. Box it yourself. Go buy a box for $1, especially when you have $600 return. I should have done that one. So those are 2 things that I would have done different, and that's my learning mistake on it. Now, some of you might say, hey, well, you could take them to small claims court. So in my job, I'm kind of familiar with the legal system, and it's weird in the state that I am. Number one, who really has the time or the money for that? Because you got to pay the court cost fees, you got to pay the service fees, because in order for a legal process to be valid, it has to be served to both parties. Well, guess what? Amazon is not in North Carolina. They're I think it's Washington, whatever state they're in, but they're not local here where they could be served. And not to mention that, even if you serve it digitally to them, they don't have to open the email, they don't have to respond, and they don't have to open the email. So the minute that they're not served, the legal paper is void. So yeah, as far as taking them to small claims court, there's really nothing much you can do about that. Amazon, frankly, don't care about it. So now, not that I'm defending them, it's not only Amazon. I mean, if you guys have ever ordered from Newegg is actually just as bad, if not worse. I mean, I've had to order from Newegg in the past, and I've ran into issues with their quality of shipping me the wrong items, forgetting me to ship items, and then I've actually had to wait and put customers' bills on hold because I'm waiting on parts from Newegg. So they're just as bad too. And honestly, dealing with them, their whole attitude, it was, we don't care. And that's the attitude that a lot of these businesses send. We don't care. So to kind of wrap it up, I am out $600. Amazon has 600 of my dollars that they're not going to give back to me. And they're not even going to give me the product that they claim that I sent to them, which I think that's more jacked up. At least give me that back. If you're so sure that I sent you the wrong item, at least give it back to me. But no, they won't even do that for me, so they don't care. And that's just the nature of the way it is. So now my options is, yeah, I'm out $600, but I could probably claim it on my taxes and claim the loss on my taxes, which will help me recoup that a little bit. But it's still frustrating that, I pay for Prime membership. I've dealt with them for years. They've never had an issue with me. My account have always been good standing, and I spent a lot of money with them, not as much as most, but you would think that decent customer service and decent care for the customer would exist, but it doesn't. So I'm making this video mostly to kind of give you guys suggestions and make you aware of how these companies can treat you. Sad to say, I've actually had these issues with Newegg, and I actually stopped buying from Newegg because I had a similar experience. Although I did get my money back from them, it did take like almost 2 months to deal with them. But Amazon, there's no hope or light at the end of the tunnel for getting my money back. So I buy all my computer stuff from Amazon. And now I'm probably not. I'll probably continue to buy from Amazon for the simple fact that local household needs, but I'm not going to be buying computer parts for them. I'll probably stick to I'll probably stick to Micro Center because you can order online, or if they have it in store, I'll probably go to Best Buy and get it from them. I'll find somebody else to buy computer parts from because, that's ridiculous. You need to take care of your customers, regardless if they're the little man in the pond. It's piss poor. And the fact that social media, they didn't even care about the negative, and maybe it's because I'm a nobody, but it is what it is. The fact of the matter is, it's a sad story. It happens all too often. I've heard of other people that have had this same issues with this. So guys, if you're going to be buying from these companies, protect yourself. Thoroughly document everything. Make sure you take good pictures, good notes, and really make it hard for them to kind of prove their case. In this case, I should have taken pictures. I think that may have helped my case a little bit, but you learn, you live, and life moves on, and Amazon and companies like that get richer. So guys, definitely comment down below and let me know your thoughts, your experiences. Have you guys ever ran into this? I would love to hear your experiences and your suggestions. What would you do in my situation? Maybe I'm missing something, but I think I've exhausted all my leads and opportunities to recoup my money. So thanks for watching, and we'll see what we come up with next. No thanks to Amazon.